The temperature is inching over 35, the sun is shining, and many people are getting vaccinated. So, with hope and springtime, many of us think about planting gardens. I am speaking to two leaders in growing things on Cape Ann from two very different organizations. People get them mixed up, but we are speaking to Susan Kelly from Generous Gardeners. They are responsible for all the beautiful beds we see, particularly the Boulevard, the Stacy Boulevard beds. I'm also speaking to Corinne Lippy, who is the program director at Backyard Growers. So, Susan, let's start with you. Tell us more about Generous Gardeners.
Okay, thank you very much for having me. Generous Gardeners is an all volunteer group of civic minded Gloucester. I mean, actually, we have volunteers from all over Cape Ann participate, but our gardens are all in Gloucester. And our mission is the beautification of Gloucester with public flower gardens. So we are all about flowers, not vegetables. Love vegetables, but we are about the flowers. And I just want everybody to know we planted 30,000 tulips, brand new tulips on Stacy Boulevard last fall because we knew it was going to be a very long winter and we needed something to look forward to. Uh, our tulips are the giant show-stopping, Darwin big tulips, and they are really annuals. They're not designed to come back with any sort of show. So people wonder why we plant new tulips every year, and it's because we want it to be one big, amazing show. And also our soil is too salty and wet, and they just rot. So that's one of the reasons. So we're all looking forward to that.
So, you have another wonderful program that is really aimed at cheering us all up this particular year, right?
Correct.
The Hanging Basket program?
Yes, the Hanging Baskets program. So we were funded this year by the quarterly donation from the 100 Women Who Care of Cape Ann. And it's an amazing organization, but they chose Generous Gardeners to win their quarterly donation, which will be about $11,500. And for us, that's a big chunk of our budget. And with that, we are purchasing 27 hanging baskets that have water reservoirs in them. So they'll hold 2 gallons of water. They call them self-watering. So they only need to be watered every other day, or maybe in the heat of July, maybe every day. But the old system with anyway, but this is a whole new program. We didn't have anything last year. We're also getting some water tanks that can be in volunteers' cars so that we can get up at the crack of dawn and go water, before there are any cars on Main Street. But we really want to support the beautification of Main Street. We feel like the businesses there, the retail and the restaurants have really, really suffered, so terribly during the pandemic.
Mm. So, so in my introduction, I really stressed the Stacy Boulevard, but tell us a little bit more about the specific areas that you beautify around Gloucester.
Okay, so we take care of 45 locations from Magnolia to Lanesville. The latest bigger ones have been the Fitzhenry Lane Park, over by the new Chamber of Commerce, and the Chamber of Commerce Gardens that we take care of. We also, the new embankment at the police station, they've extended that. That was one of our first gardens 10 years ago. And then now that's become, the full embankment there. It's all lavender and a lot of annual larkspur that is it's just absolutely beautiful. And we just took over the Hesperus Circle Triangle in Magnolia, planted Magnolia, and took over that whole big traffic island there. So again, it's an eclectic mix. We take care of O'Malley School, Magnolia Library. But if you want to see what we take care of, it's all on our website under Garden Spaces.
Mm, beautiful. And how can people either volunteer? I assume we could volunteer or support you.
Yes, we always accept any volunteers. You don't need to know anything. We will teach you. You just need to be eager and willing to get your hands dirty. And you can just email me, Susan@generousgardeners.org. It's all over the website. We're very small. Again, we're all volunteers, so we don't have, we don't have any staff. So it's just kind of me dealing with. I put emails on a blast, and we just email blast out and say where we're going to be when, and you show up if you can. It's very, very casual. And but you have to wear a green apron. That's our signature. You cannot go be in public gardens. You cannot be gardening in public spaces without wearing our signature green apron. That's one of the rules. And of course, you can donate online too. And we will be having our big plant sale, which is going to be May 22nd on the Boulevard. It's again not vegetables like Backyard Growers. We are all about flowers. They are all about vegetables. We are going to be selling perennial plants, perennials and dahlias, our leftover dahlia tubers, and daylilies from the Boulevard, but we are also selling plants that were dug from our volunteers' gardens. Because again, perennials need to be divided. There are lots of seedlings that happen. And again, this is a way to get very inexpensive flowers and support us and be, sustainable.
Wonderful. Well, I usually do plant flowers, but last year I got these wonderful grow bags from Backyard Growers, and I was able to actually plant potatoes and tomatoes and herbs and four kinds of beans. So we're going to go to you now, Corinne, and you're going to tell us about planting vegetables at
Yes, it's a
Backyard Growers.
Hey, Thanks so much, Heather, for having us, and it's great to be on with you again, Susan. Yeah, so veggies and flowers, but both serve Gloucester in so many different ways. And just to clarify, kind of what our mission is really around providing access to folks to be able to grow their own food, especially those who would otherwise not be able to because of other barriers, whether it be financial or location. We also work with all of the kids in Gloucester Public Schools, so 100% of the kids from pre-K up through the high school. And we work with Pathways for Children. In their preschool program, we manage 10 community gardens in Gloucester, at Burnham's Field, and at 6 low-income housing developments. And then we do install backyard gardens, but only through what's called a Get a Garden, Give a Garden program, where with a strong partnership with Black Earth Compost, people in the community can purchase a raised bed of their own, and then with an additional $500 donation to Backyard Growers, we will install a raised bed in the backyard of a low-income household in Gloucester. And then we provide wraparound training, support, resources like seedlings, seeds, to really incentivize people to have success, and mentors to help overcome some of the learning process as we all continue to learn how to grow, because it's iterative and every year you're learning something different. The Grow Bag Initiative, which you had a lot of success with, right, Heather?
I
Yeah,
live on a rock, basically, so I haven't even tried to plant vegetables. I just was focusing on the flower part, but I had my own vegetable garden last year, all in your bags.
yeah, that's so awesome. Love to see pictures.
The potatoes were so cool.
It's great. Yeah, so really, so I've been with Backyard Growers, this is going into my second year, and one of the things that really struck me was that we would get a lot of requests from people in the community who didn't have access to space, whether it be they didn't own their own homes, or they didn't have access to community garden, and or they wanted to have an ability to grow right outside their door, and they didn't have an easy way to do that. And so we got some initial funding from Patagonia, and then have gotten more funding. And folks in the community can purchase these bags, which help support our programs. But basically, they run from 2 gallons all the way up to 25 gallons, and they are sustainable ways to grow in really lightweight, portable bags. And so the bags themselves are like a container, and you can just fill them with soil, add seeds, and they offer just great extension of growing area for people. They're available on our website. And we're also going to be doing some special things with them this year. We've distributed them to all of the second graders last year in Gloucester through a special Salad Days kit program. And this year we're doing some other fun things. We're partnering with Dr. Orr's office and doing like a veggie prescription program, and some other creative ways to get them out into the community.
Well, I know in the past you've had this wonderful program in the elementary school and I believe the middle school also, right?
We
And
have, yeah.
how did that go with this year being largely remote?
Yeah, great question. So we've done a few different adaptations for Salad Days and Fall Harvest Days, which are the trademark program elements for our elementary school programs. We used these 3-gallon bags to create kits to mimic the typical Salad Days planting experience the kids would have at the schools, but they could then, through curbside pickup, take a kit home with instructions and do the same thing at home. We did have our Fall Harvest Days actually this year, where the kids come back to school and typically harvest the vegetables they plant with us in the prior June. But this year, kids came out with masks, safely distanced from one another, and then instead of preparing that food they harvest in the cafeteria, they each got to take home the food that was grown at the schools, and that they themselves harvested, and then they could prepare those veggies at home. We've led cooking workshops through the Remote Academy for Gloucester's elementary school students all winter, every other week. And this spring, it looks like we're going to get out and be able to plant with all of the elementary school students again to do the salad days in April. And then the middle school, we do a bread program and a corn program. And I know we're running out of time, so I don't want to get too far into those, but, and we have a permaculture garden at the high school.
Well, I know we can't talk about everything, but I do think the corn and the bread, particularly planting wheat, teaching these kids how to plant wheat and take it from a seed to a loaf of bread is amazing, because that's a lot of hard work.
Yeah, so really quickly, we are partnering with King Arthur, and all of the seventh graders will instead get a kit to be able to make bread at home this year. So we'll be distributing those next month to all of the seventh graders in Gloucester.
But am I right? In the past, you have actually grown wheat with these kids?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So we've kind of, pivoted a lot of our programs to try and still give kids in Gloucester the same experiences, but under the new, the new reality of COVID with schools. So, but yeah, and normally we will still be planting wheat at at the middle school beds and corn in the middle school beds. Which Generous Gardeners has just really beautified in the front of the school.
Oh, nice. Well, so do you have any special programming that you haven't discussed yet that we should catch up on for the spring?
Yeah, so we have, just briefly, we've got a great cook along workshop with Ken Duckworth coming up. It's on March 25th from 6 to 7:30. That's through Zoom. Tickets are $50, and proceeds from that workshop go back in to support our programs. We're a tiny nonprofit as well, a little bigger than Susan's one woman shop with lots of
I know, and I have a board, I have a really active board of directors. I have a garden tour committee, and I did just sign up for Ken Duckworth's cooking class.
Awesome.
That class,
That's great.
he's
So yeah, we have, so that's great, and folks should check that out. And then we have seedling sales coming up in April and May. All of these dates are on our website. We'll do a seed giveaway at Burnham's Field on Saturday, April 3rd. And then we have garden trainings. Our goal is to really help people learn how to grow food. So we have garden trainings that are also open to the public that are coming up. We'll have 3 of those. We may add more, and those are all offered by Zoom now too. So people should check out our website and sign up for whatever they're interested in. And we'll be doing curbside pickup for our seedling sales this year as well. And we'll announce where those will be.
So people will order online, and then we'll know which curb to go to, right?
Exactly. Yeah. And we partner with Cedar Rock Gardens for those. So they're just the best quality seedlings, and they're great to partner with.
And Cedar Rock actually grows all of our annuals for the Boulevard too.
Oh, they do? I didn't know that. Oh, they've been a guest many times. We love Elise and Tucker.
Tucker and Elise are awesome. Yeah, that was, I love the footprint, grown here and then planted there and enjoyed by people come to visit the flowers that didn't come from someplace else. I love that.
Exactly. That's wonderful. I didn't know that either. That is great. Well, anything else from either one of you that you want to add that you missed in our conversation?
Just that our garden tour is July 10th, and that's a big deal. It's going to be outside. It's going to be a walking tour and a virtual tour this year. We are confident that we will can safely by July have an outside event. There'll be over a dozen gardens in the Mount Pleasant Avenue area of East Gloucester, and that's our major fundraiser. That pays for a lot of our flowers.
And so many more people can participate if it's virtual. So that's a great.
Yes, we'll have that in addition, but it's going to be walking is what most people really enjoy, actually going in and seeing, over a dozen private gardens. Yeah.
And tickets will be on your website, maybe not
yes.
yet, but soon.
No, not yet, but they will be available. And then the day of, because we don't actually let people know where the gardens are until the day of. We don't want people, we don't want people sneak peeking.
So. That's great. All right, Corinne, anything more from you before we leave?
Oh, just quick shout out for volunteer help if folks want to. I know we had a lot of people for whom it was really a great kind of physical and mental health release to get out and have their hands in the dirt last year with us. And so we'd love more volunteers this year as well to help maintain all of the community garden spaces that we have and the school garden spaces throughout the summer. So people can sign up right on our website for those. And thank you so much again for having us.
Sure. So that's backyardgrowers.com and
.org.
.org. Right. Sorry. And Susan at generousgardeners.org.
.org.
Okay, great. Well, Susan and Corinne, thank you so much for being with us today.
Great. Thank you.
Thanks, Heather.